highly favored one of the Lord, welcome to the Healing Streams Reflection. The title for today's post is The Joy Guaranteed. Beloved, what a great feeling to walk into a new room on a new carpet with new shelves for your books, new chairs for your guests, and a clear desk ready for work. Definitely, you feel like you are starting all over. That's the way I feel every first 3 months of the year, January, February, March, especially January. As we move into a new year with new resolutions in our hearts, new dreams in our mind, new opportunities to start afresh. God created a globe-shaped world that spins on its axis and revolves around the sun. So we have a new beginning every day and a new start every year. Why not begin this year with joy? That's the cure for despair, the only commodity that enables us to accept life detours with Christian victory, especially this month of March. We are in the 3rd month. You see, the joy of the Lord is our strength. Philippians 4:4 says, rejoice in the Lord always. And 1 Thessalonians 5:16 adds, rejoice evermore. Joy should be present at every major point in life. In Luke 19:6, we read about joy at the time of salvation. Acts 8:39 speaks of joy at the time of baptism. Jeremiah 15:19 says we should open our Bibles with joy. And John 16:24 tells us to pray with joy. James 1:2 even advises us to count it all joy when we fall into difficulties. Joy isn't just an emotion that comes and goes. It's an attitude that comes and grows. It's the flag flying at the top of our hearts when the King is in residence. Is the theme of our songs from the Christmas carol, Joy to the World, to the children ditty that goes, I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. No classical wickhead at weddings. Jesus, just a joy of man's desire. No wonder J.K. Chesterton said joy is the gigantic secret of the Christian. There's one little song about joy that's been on my mind recently, and I recall it from a long ago, Vatican Bible School curriculum. It gives a formula for daily joy. Jesus and others and you. What a wonderful way to spell joy. Jesus and others and you. J-O-Y. Jesus, J, or others, O, and Y, you. In the life of each girl and each boy, J is for Jesus, for he has first place. O is for others. We meet face to face. And Y is for you. And whatever you do, put yourself and spell J, joy. J is for Jesus. Our source of joy is Jesus alone. On the night he was betrayed, he told the disciples in the upper room, these things I've spoken to you, that my joy may remain in you, and that your joy may be full. Your sorrow will be turned to joy, and your joy no one would take from you. John 15:11, John 16:20 and 22. Beloved, the joy we have is Christ's own joy, which he shares with his children. This Jesus joy flows from him into us as believers who are filled with his spirit. Peter called it joy unspeakable and full of glory. 1 Peter 1:8. Perhaps you remember the story that flashed around the world some time ago about the kidnapping of Martin and Gracia Benham of New Tribes Mission. They were celebrating the anniversary at a resort in the Philippines when terrorists burst into the hotel and dragged them into the jungle. They spent a year in captivity, faced their starvation, and were caught in the middle of gun battles. In the end, both were shot. Martin was killed, but Garcia lived to tell the story. One night, she recalled, as they set up their hammocks, expecting a rainy evening, Martin said, Garcia, I don't know why the Lord has allowed this to happen, but today I've been thinking about Psalm 100 and how we can serve the Lord with gladness. Just because we're here doesn't mean we can't serve him with gladness. So let's serve the Lord with gladness. They prayed together and settled into their hammocks. It was then that the gunfire started. Garcia fell to the ground wounded. The grass was wet, and she slid down a steep hill and came to rest beside Martha. He was bleeding from his chest and breathing heavily. Then he gave one final deep breath and was gone. But those words from Psalm 100 never died in Garcia's heart. She said, the Lord has given me joy. We can have a hard day here at home, but I'm still just dumb enough to be really, really happy. And even when they were dragging me up the hill from Martin, and I could see he was white, and I could tell he was dead, you know what? I was so happy in my heart that I was getting out of there. I can't explain it, but I don't think I have to feel guilty or deny it. The believer's joy is that of Christ living his life through us, and it isn't defeated by circumstances. It has an inner source of perpetual renewal. Christ's message is one of good tidings of great joy, and in him we are strengthened with all might according to his glorious power for all patience and long suffering with joy. Luke 2:10 and Colossians 1:11. Then, beloved, it has an inner source of perpetual renewal. Then we come to the O, which stands for others. And we can do no better than following John Wesley's little rule of life. Do all the good you can by all the means you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as ever you can. One of the unexpected blessings that came from recent hurricanes was a sort of national revival of kindness. As millions of people were evacuated from cities like North Carolina and the fires in California, millions of others went the extra mile in extending food, money, shelter, housing, toys, Bibles, and love. One newspaper told of a business owner named Carol Crowley, owner of Carol Little Works, who, while watching a foot of the evacuees, wanted to do something to help. So she gathered yarn and needles and started to knit. She sent word to other knitters and crop cutters to make washcloths and a small blanket to comfort the hurricane survivors. It may not seem like much to us, Carol told her reporter, but receiving something new and clean may be the bright spot in a life that day. These stories were multiplied by thousands, and many of our listeners on Hidden Streams either give or receive these acts of kindness. Didn't we feel good at what our churches and families did for those in need? There's joy in serving others. But don't wait for the next national disaster. Don't get someone with kindness today. We are more likely to forget our own problems when we help others with theirs, and we raise our own spirit when we jump the helium of happiness into another's soul. Jesus came not to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom for many. Paul spoke of himself as being poured out on behalf of others. The Bible says, love each other. Be deep-spirited friends. Don't push your way to the front. And don't sweet talk your way to the top. Put yourself aside and help others get ahead. Don't be obsessed with getting your own advantage, forgetting yourselves long enough to lend a helping hand. Philippians 2:3-4. I'm reading from the Message Bible. Why is for you. And then we come to the final letter. Why is for you. And whatever you do, put yourself 10 and spell J-O-Y, joy. You see, someone said that the man all wrapped up in himself is a very small package. Well, we do need to take some time for ourselves, and it's a good practice to do something nice for ourselves every day. Apostle Paul said, take heed to yourselves. That's 20:28. In other words, take care of yourself and be careful of burnout. But the human ego is the greatest thief to joy ever invented. It keeps us competitive, stressed, self-absorbed, and wounded up into a very small ball. Let's make sure we don't try to spell joy by arranging the letter to say Y-J-O-O-Y-O-J. Beloved, it only works in the right order. Focus on Jesus, then others. And by the time you get around to you, you'll be a happier person every day this year, 2025. And the joy of the Lord will be your strength. Thanks for listening. And may the good Lord richly bless you.